I'm Timmy McCormack, Director of Athletic Communications. Welcome into the Main Event Broadcasting Network as we sit down today with head tennis coach Shane Wood to talk a little bit about the upcoming 2015 women's tennis season here at Piedmont College. Coach Wood, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Always a pleasure to have you here on the Main Event Broadcasting Network. Let's talk a little women's tennis now, 2015. You guys are getting ready to start the season. Had a couple weeks to get used to the girls here in preseason practices. Got a couple new faces, we'd say. One or two. What have you seen at 18 so far here in the early part of the season?
It's been a lot of fun. We got a good group of girls. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of new faces. We've got only 2 returners, and we've got 8 on the squad. So
right.
we've got a lot of new faces. And actually, we only have 5 returners. We have 6 freshmen. Yeah, it's a lot of freshmen. So. Yeah. With that, they're learning not just, they're not just practicing. They're trying to learn how we do things at Piedmont and how we, how college matches are actually going to go, because none of these kids have, except for a couple of them, have ever played in one.
Right.
So I mean, it's been, we've had a lot of questions about just other stuff. How does travel work? What are the bus rides like? Things.
Those fun questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But. For the most part, we've gone out there with a good attitude and we've worked hard in practice, and I think we've got some talent. And it's one of those things where years previous, because I've had girls in positions for several years, we've kind of known what to expect.
Right.
This year, I know what I see on the court when I'm practicing with them, but when we start keeping score. I want to see how they respond to the competition of another school, and I think we'll be fine. But it's one of those things. It's kind of an up in the air, kind of an exciting time for our program, I think.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement and buzz building around the women's tennis program right now because there are so many new faces, and you don't know exactly what to expect. We had Sailors and and Ashley Fannin, who were kind of the 2 that were kind of the faces of the program the last several years, and always very solid and kind of consistent as well. And so now you kind of got a brand new program a little bit. Do have the 2 returners though, and Amanda and Nicole, both played pretty much 2-3 singles for you last year.
Right.
Both won double-digit single matches though last year. I think they combined for about 21 singles wins together. So a lot of returning experience for them, and neither one of them was a senior as well. So how nice is it to have their leadership a little bit on the courts at such a young age?
It's been great, and you said it. When we lost Katie and Ashley to graduation. Just like with the men's program, you have to have folks step up and assume those leadership roles, and Nicole and Amanda have done a great job of kind of spearheading that and getting all the freshmen together, and off-season workouts and movie nights and all that kind of stuff, trying to get everybody to bond, which is a big deal with a lot of new faces. And they've done a great job, but they've also been very good in practice about having a great work ethic and kind of leading the charge there with the way they prepare.
Yeah.
And that's been very, very good. And it is a nice thing to think about having them for another year, so that we can kind of groom some other leaders, but also have them in place for 2 more for this season and next.
Yeah, and with so many new faces as well coming in too, and you've had a little time to get used to them. Are there any freshmen that kind of stood out to you a little bit here in the early going, or it may just be a bit of a mix because there's so many new kids?
Well, that's a very good point. We've had good play from really all of those freshmen. It's tough to name anybody. I'm very excited about Christian Wade and Durden Smith both have shown me that they can play singles and doubles, which is a big thing for us. A lot of kids in high school are singles only players, and we spend a lot of our time the first year with new kids teaching them the doubles game because of the strategy and just working with a partner. All that stuff's very different from singles, where it's just you and the ball and your opponent. Those guys both are very good at the net. Both are very good at transitioning to the net, and they have already a kind of a working knowledge of double strategy, and so that's really helping our cause in practice. And so we've been able to throw them into a couple of different double scenarios, and it's kind of helping our teams kind of adapt to the doubles game.
We're looking forward to seeing all those new faces all on the court once they get here, of course, as well as far as competition getting started, which is just a short weekend away here, coming up this Friday. Coming off one of the best seasons you've ever had in the NCAA era last year, with 12 wins for your team here on the women's side, a 9-3 record in USA South play, and probably what's been the most impressive about your tennis program going in such a strong league here in the USA South has been how well your teams have competed in the league as well. Talk a little bit about how important it was for you to have a finish like that to last year, and then what you see out of your team kind of heading this year.
Well, last year, we had a couple of players leave the team early that weren't on the roster or anything. we really didn't know what to expect.
Right.
But it was absolutely, without question, the grittiest, biggest hearted team I've ever coached, because they fought every match, won some matches that, quite frankly, you look at the schedule on paper and say, man, that's going to be a tough one. We would pull out wins, and we had great leadership, and we just had great heart. And it was a testament to those kids about how they, wanted that season to be such a big season for them, especially from our seniors.
Right.
And going forward this year, the one thing I do see is that we do have a great group of competitive girls. When we play challenge matches in practice, or when we play, competitive events, be it, tiebreakers or just single sets or whatever it is, when the light comes on and we're keeping score, so to speak, every one of these girls hates to lose. And so that's going to, I think, is going to carry on into that character that we've built for ourselves the last couple of years. We're going to be gritty, we're going to be scrappy, we're going to be hopefully a tough out, every single match.
Yeah, two of the girls, of course, you were replacing last year, we've already mentioned, and Ashley Fannin and then, of course, Katie Sailors. Fannin had 16 wins last year in singles play, and how far she came from her freshman year to her senior year.
It's amazing.
Really was impressive. She's been out on the courts a little bit, kind of, too, helping, seeing a little practice. And then Katie, of course, too, handed Patel her first conference loss out of Meredith. So two really important pieces that you're trying to replace now with a bunch of new faces here as we get forward. And it all starts this Friday as you guys take on Suwannee in your season opener. We talked a little bit about this when we talked about the men's tennis team opening up.
Right.
It's opening weekend. It's going to be tough. You're playing Suwannee, a perennial top 25, as we spoke about earlier, and then you play Center the next day as well. So two good Southern Athletic Association programs. Talk a little bit about how important opening weekend is to get your team prepared for the USA South schedule.
Yeah, it's a big deal. We schedule Suwannee kind of on purpose. I love to jump into a big match right away, give them a good look at a great team. Suwannee's girls are 5-6 years removed from an NCAA top 5, I think.
Right, yeah.
And they're perennial top 25, so they're going to be a huge test the first day. And then Center, like you said, another SAA school that's up and coming. The biggest thing for me is just trying to get the girls out into a situation where we're playing the best of the best, and really pushing their limits to see kind of where we stand in terms of league play, because we're going to see Suwannee so early in the season, and then our league is so deep and so tough. It's going to hopefully prepare them for the rigors of the USA South when we get into the meat of our conference schedule.
Yeah, and we won't see your team for a while as they open up on March 13th here at home against William Peace University. But it all starts this weekend. Coach Wood, we wish you all the best of luck here in 2015.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. You've been watching head tennis coach Shane Wood talk a little bit about the upcoming 2015 women's tennis season here at Piedmont College. It all starts this Friday with a February 13th matchup against Suwannee, the University of the South. The Lady Lions return home for the home opener on March 13th, where they take on William Peace University in USA South play. I'm Tim McCormack, your Director of Athletic Communications here at Piedmont, and your host today. Thank you very much for joining us on the Main Event Broadcasting Network. We'll see you next time.